Hello there everyone, this is me Ethan here, and welcome back to another film review. And in today's video, I will be giving you all my thoughts on Twisters. Now, Twisters is a sort of semi-sequel to the 1996 Twister film, which I don't have any nostalgic attachment to. However, I did watch it for the first time a couple months back, and thought it was just alright. I enjoyed the cast of characters. I thought it was a fun, decent little movie, but I wasn't in love with it like a lot of people were in the 90s during the natural disaster movie craze. So to get a sequel to this movie didn't mean much to me until I saw the director attached to it, which was Lee Isaac Chung, and I loved 2020's Minari, which he directed, where he shows a Korean family immigrating to Arkansas, and as someone who lived in Arkansas for about a year or so, it was incredibly accurate, and his depiction of the South was so cool, and I absolutely loved his direction on that film, so to see him make a Twister movie had me very excited. This film follows two characters, the lead being Daisy Edgar Jones, who plays Kate, and she is a scientist and a former storm chaser. However, she has a rough past with tornadoes that still haunts her, so she doesn't really want to storm chase anymore. And then we have Glenn Powell's character, Tyler, who is a YouTuber and also storm chaser. He's chasing the storms for views, he's very charismatic, he's very fun, and I found both of these leads to be pretty good for this movie. I liked Daisy Edgar Jones' character, and I feel like she has a lot more weight to her character than Glenn Powell's. I thought Daisy Edgar Jones gave a really great performance. I thought she got the job done really well, but Glenn Powell really brings the charisma here. He reminds me a lot of a mix of like a Tom Cruise and a Matthew McConaughey character, and I feel like if this sequel came out in the 90s right after Twister and it had a whole new cast, Matthew McConaughey would be playing Glenn Powell's character without a doubt, and I think he just is a total charisma package. He does such a great job. He brings the energy whenever it's needed. The beginning of this film doesn't really start on much of a high, in my opinion. Well, it does, but the emotions are a lot lower, they're not as energetic, but once Glenn Powell does come into the picture, it's like the energy just boosts up for this film and we really get going. And I think the dynamic between these two characters is what really sells the film, and I think you wouldn't even have to have the Twisters involved. You could put in anything else to replace the Twisters, and I still think the story and the balance between them is what carries this film. And we do also have Anthony Ramos, who plays a semi-love interest to Daisy Edgar Jones' character, and he does an alright job. I didn't think he was terrible. I liked him better than his performance in the most recent Transformers movie, at least. But there's maybe a little bit of a love triangle that they tried to put in with his character that I wasn't totally on board with, and by the end of the movie, I didn't find myself enjoying his character as much, and just kind of acknowledging his existence and like, oh hey, you're there, just stay over there. And I also think the action is pretty good. It's once again similar to the original Twister, where you have multiple different fun characters all going after these storms, and all of them have different reasons and morals behind why they're chasing these storms. On this side, you have Glenn Powell and his YouTubers, which are very rowdy, and you think they're not doing it for a good cause. And then you have Daisy Edgar Jones and Anthony Ramos over here, and they're doing it for a company, and you can imagine where that goes and the morality of what they're doing, and it's got some similarities to the original while still feeling like its own thing. And the action is really great here. I think the CGI is pretty much seamless. The tornadoes look so much better than they did in the original film. There's no flying cows, but it still looks pretty dang awesome. And what I really loved most about Twisters is, as much as it does seem like a sequel, adding an S to the end of its name, it doesn't really feel like a sequel. It feels like just another Twister movie. It doesn't have any of the previous established characters in it. I think it's maybe only got one like original Easter egg from the film, but otherwise it doesn't try and nostalgia bait and treat the older movie with a bunch of reverence. It tries to be its own thing, kind of separate from the original, and I really love that. You know, Glenn Powell's character isn't the original guy's son from the previous film, like a lot of sequels do. Like, oh yeah, this is the son of the previous guy, and maybe he died from a tornado and he's continuing his legacy. That's not the case here. These are totally new characters, still in Oklahoma, but it rocks. And speaking of rocks, there's a pretty good country soundtrack behind this movie, and I'm a somewhat fan of country. I know most people aren't, but I think it totally adds to the full Americana of this movie that I really appreciated. And I love how this is really such a simple formula, and Lee Isaac Chung didn't try and F up what a Twister movie is supposed to be. It's a bunch of fun characters in a dangerous environment with some good drama, some fun comedy, and overall, just a fun time at the movies. I'm giving Twisters a 9 out of 10. Twisters is an awesome time at the movies. It delivers with its fun characters in dangerous situations while also providing its dramatic moments. The action is fun and the CGI is seamless. I would highly recommend this film, even if you haven't watched the original Twister. So what did you think about Twisters if you have seen it, and what do you think about the original Twister? I'd love to hear any and all opinions in the comment section down below. So if you all enjoyed this review and if you all enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, I will see you all in the next one. Bye and have a great day.